And we're live.
Hi, friends.
We're alive.
You say that makes me think of, like, my brain immediately went, I know, you know, the whole iCarly theme song, you know?
No.
What? Well, you don't have children, so there's that.
No, I've just still got show me to me, please. If you went and listened to her, watch that last week after I said something about it. Maybe now you'll think it's funny. Show me to me, Rachel.
Every time we say that, all I can hear is, give it to me, baby.
Uh-huh. So, what we got this week? Because I have no idea.
Okay, so this week, you know, we had told you that we had a different format. Brittany was writing 2 episodes. I was supposed to write 2 episodes. This was one of the episodes that I was supposed to write, and I had an idea. And of course, you know, I procrastinated till the last possible second, because if I had started this at the beginning of the little time between the recording sessions, it would have been chef's kiss on point. I'm sorry, Ziggy. That made you jump. I'm sorry.
Did she scare you?
However, I didn't start early enough, and then I started it at the beginning of the week, and then I got sick, and then there was no doing it. And so I sat down to try and finish it last night, and I was like, I'm going to get this done. And then I was like, I don't feel like finishing this right now. Like, I got a little bit done, and then I was like, I can't. I stayed up as late as I could with it. I was like, I'm done. So then I got up this morning, and I started on it. And I'm talking, like, straight out of bed, went to the bathroom, sat down on the couch with my Dr. Pepper and my laptop, and so we gonna get this done. And I worked on it for a little bit, and I was like, I'm not gonna get this finished today. I'm just not. So I had to quickly fix something else. So what you guys were gonna get, I'm gonna continue to write, and you guys will get it next month probably. So be excited, because it's going to be awesome if you guys are interested in Norse paganism type things.
And you got most of the work already done.
Yeah, I just have to go through and edit it. Now, that being said, this is part 1 of what could be a 2 or 3 part thing. Depending on, let me get what I've got done, and I may be able to make it all one.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's like 26 pages long.
Lord.
That's the longest thing I've ever written. So let me just see. Let me get done with the editing process to this, and we'll see how it goes. So get excited. You guys might be getting this in, the next month or so. I'm real excited about it, and I've been wanting to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
But I realized that was not something that Brittany would be interested in researching, really, because that's not her thing. And that's fine. Which is why she was more than excited to do the disappearances thing, because I do not like doing those episodes. Anyway, so what we're doing this week is it's a chit-chatty topic.
Yeah. And
we've done things like this before, where we ask questions and we both answer the questions. But generally these are like lighthearted, like a quick 1 or 2 word answer, something fun, whatever. But these ones that I have are a little bit deeper, and they open up for more discussion.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about it. And some of them, I'm going to try and not get political with them. Some of them,
try and not do that. But
right.
If we do, we do not expect that your beliefs are of our own.
We understand that everyone has difference of opinion, and we do not hold that against anyone. And we live in a country where we're allowed to have different opinions about things. Yeah. And that's what makes
a democracy a democracy.
Exactly.
As long as your opinions don't hurt anybody, that's totally fine. Have a different opinion. That's fine. That's our government, our political system was set up to be that. Everybody have a difference of opinion. So, please keep that in mind.
Right.
Should we
now
deviate,
right.
Which we're very good at.
Also, some of these may be, lighthearted, quick answer type things, and I'm going to kind of ease into it a little bit. But I figured this would just be a fun thing.
Okay.
So the first one I have, is it acceptable to pick friends based on how attractive they are?
That seems stupid.
I mean, it does.
But
so
I can't say that I've never, I don't know. I've never thought about, like, I think everybody's pretty in their own way. Everybody is like, I don't know what it is about garden gummies, but they make me very complimentary. Like, I'm in a Discord for that Sims player.
we're not going to talk about it because I'm kind of frustrated.
So I'm in the Discord. Well, like, if anybody posts like a selfie or anything. So last night I had a garden gummy and I'm just in the Discord minding my business. And this girl posted a picture. She's like, I didn't know where else to post this. Like, she blocked out her face, I literally like sent a gif of Jess from New Girl going, "You are hot, hot, hot." I don't know what it is about garden gummies that do that to me, but I will tell everybody they're pretty.
In the event that you meet up with these people in real life, they're going to think that you're just the most outgoing, like, nicest, friendliest person on the face of this earth. It's
already been, like, discussed that, like, all of us have anxiety.
Well,
so
you're going to meet these people, and
online
your face...
We already are under
your face is going to say the things that your mouth does not, and they're going to be like, oh.
I mean, some of them have seen my face. I've been on Discord calls with some of them. There's like 6 of them. Yeah.
This is giving 2006, 2007 AOL chat room vibes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's my take on it.
They didn't ask me ASL though.
Oh, rude. Here is, and if you don't know what that means, then you're too young to be listening to this.
Yeah.
Stop right now.
Somebody's outside the door. Sounds upset.
So here's my thought with this question is that, do I think that it's acceptable to base a friendship based off of whether or not you think this person is pretty?
Yeah,
no. However, I do see that it could be a thing of, like, you're more likely to become better friends with the person that is somewhat aesthetically pleasing to you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna go out of your way to spend time with somebody that you don't necessarily like to look at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's not something that you're doing consciously.
Yeah.
I think that it's
subconscious.
Yes.
I understand that, yeah.
So if that tells you, I think that you're pretty.
Thank you.
I've dealt with your ugly ass face for almost 20 years now.
I like that you called me pretty and ugly in the same breath. But I mean, of course, and like, just because somebody is pretty or not based on your own preferences doesn't mean that they're going to be a good or a bad person.
Absolutely not. But like, also,
I mean, and there's people, I mean, let's just take, for instance, men that I have had in my past. At one point in time, I thought these were attractive men. Now, get away from me.
And a lot of it to do is like,
one of them looks like a crack-headed rat, and the other one can't grow a beard. So
there could be, and
the other one's got weird back hair. The crack-headed rat, he's got weird back hair. It's like there's no back hair, and then all of a sudden you get to the bottom of his back, like right where like a tramp stamp would be. It's a straight line of hair.
That's weird. That's ass hair.
Yeah, but it's on his back.
Is his ass hairy?
I don't remember, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. I think probably. It probably just creeped up his back a little bit.
It's like pubes. They go a lot further than you would think that they would.
Maybe, but this was literally on his back. But like, because one night, when we were on a trip to Florida, we went to the Walgreens and got wax strips, and me and his brother and his sister-in-law and his nephew and him were all, well, the nephew wasn't, but we were all a little inebriated, and we made his ass lay down and we waxed his back. And his nephew thought that was the most funny shit.
I bet he did.
Because he's sitting there whining like a little bitch.
That's no different from him just talking on a general day.
I mean, fair, but he's sitting there boo-hooing about it. But it was so fun.
Clarkson.
It was so fun, and it was hilarious.
I think, too, a lot, like, after you really get to talking to someone, I think their attractiveness, even on an outward level, is, like, the way you perceive them as being attractive or not, can be based off of the way that they act as well. Yeah. Like, if they're an ugly person inside, they're going to be an ugly person on the outside as well. You just, that ugly just kind of seeps through.
For sure.
I mean, I've heard it. I don't know if it's just a Southern thing or not, but like if it's you know, you could be a beautiful person outward, but be very, very ugly on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The next one.
Mara. She's sitting there screaming about something. Being ugly.
Right. What's worse? People who monopolize every conversation or people who only complain?
I've known both.
Right.
So it's...
I mean, I've known people who do both in the same conversation.
Yeah.
They're both equally annoying.
They're equally both irritating. Like, I'm a complainer. I'm not going to lie. I'm a complainer. I am a child of my mother and her mother before her, and probably her mother before her. We're complainers by nature. So, but I try not to do it all the time. And I feel like now that I'm on better medication, I'm not as complaining.
Right. I get it. It's just, I don't know that one is necessarily worse than the other.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly though, like a lot of times
it does kind of suck though, like talking to somebody who only wants to talk about themselves.
But it's also hard because I'm the type of person that like you can be telling me something.
Yeah.
And I'm listening wholeheartedly, and the conversation is about you, but in a way that it makes you understand. The way I feel like I can portray to you that I understand what you're talking about is I have a similar experience.
See, I'm the same way, but like,
and I feel like when I do that, I'm turning the conversation to be about me.
See, because like I'm the same way, and I use it as like a, hey, I know what you mean. Here's my experience. Please continue to tell me about your experience. But like rat face, I did that one time, and he's like, "You're trying to make this about yourself. You are so sanctimonious." So now I have a poetry book called Sanctimonious.
Right.
Hit me up if you want one.
Rat men are like a thing now.
Rat men?
You need to watch The Sip.
I do.
You do.
But I don't know. He looks like a rat. Everybody looks like a rat that I don't like.
Okay, so
pointy face.
Do you think is suffering necessary for personal growth and development?
No.
I don't think necessarily suffering, but I feel like
if you have a setback once in a while, that's probably important to your character development as a human being. But because to always achieve and always be the best, you don't have any sense of what it's like to fail. So when you do fail, it's devastating.
Right.
So I think like having a sense of failure and knowing that like even though you failed, at least you tried. I think having that sort of sense, but I don't think you should have to suffer to be. I feel
like you have to go through it to grow through it.
Exactly.
Like I feel like you have to there has to be some kind of trial. There has to be some kind of I don't want to say hardship, but something has to give you some kind of challenge so that you can rise above and be successful. You're not gonna grow, and you're not gonna get further in your development, and you're not gonna be any more successful if you don't have some type of issue getting there.
Right. Because, like, it makes me think about, so last night, whenever I was...
See, there you go. Making it all about you, you sanctimonious bitch.
When I was prowling the internet last night, after my garden gummy, so, like, for example, a person that you would think of has had everything handed to them in their lives, Paris Hilton. You would think everything has been handed to this woman, correct?
To some degree.
I now think that woman is a lot more intelligent than anybody's ever given her credit for.
Oh, for sure.
Like, she, this week, went and talked before, I think, like, I don't know, it was a bunch of government people. Like I said, I was on a garden gummy, I don't know. But she was talking about her experience at one of the, are they called provost schools or something? Where she was basically kidnapped out of her house. Her parents thought they were doing, something good for her and signed her up for one of these schools that is like for kids that have bad behavior. And it was like, and then she ended up being beaten, sexually assaulted. She wasn't allowed to speak for a year. It was insane. She went to 4 of these schools. And so now she is like helping put together legislation to close these schools because they still exist.
Oh my gosh.
And like her talking about her experience last night, I was sitting there and I was like, I am too zooted for this. But like, what? I mean, and that's what I'm saying is like, she's been through something like that. That's like that horrible. And, she's seen in the early 2000s, we just thought she was like an alcoholic. Yeah, an idiot.
It's hot.
Yeah, she still says that, but I want to get the oven mitts that say that's hot that she's got.
I've seen clips of her like in interviews where that voice that she portrayed there is
hearing
not her real
coming
voice.
Out of that voice is crazy.
Yeah, that was just a persona that she put on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm just like, I don't feel like for her to, to be the person that she is now, I don't think she had to suffer like that.
Right. I get it. Yeah.
Despite, all of the advantages that she seems to have over us because of, all the money she has, but.
That's called a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
I'm not going there on this podcast. Never mind. Lion King. That's all I got to say.
Don't even get me started. I don't want to bully a little kid, but that's not on the little kid. She was doing her best, but it's on the parents.
Yes. Okay, so this is a good one, and it I like this one. Is peer pressure predominantly negative, leading individuals to make harmful choices? Or can it also have positive effects by encouraging personal growth and positive behavior changes? I feel like it can go one way or the other.
Yeah, it can literally be one way or the other. Because, like,
it's got, for society's sake, you hear peer pressure and you think of drugs. You think of alcohol.
Yeah, you think of it all only in a negative aspect. But, like, when I was in high school, I had a friend who wanted to try out for color guard. If she hadn't have peer pressured me into also trying out, I wouldn't have.
Right.
And did I have a good experience? No, but that's neither here nor there.
It was an experience that you would not have otherwise had.
Right. And it could have gone the other way. It could have been totally fantastic. And it could have been something I did all 4 years of high school. But if she hadn't have, pressured me into trying out with her because she didn't want to do it herself, I never would have.
Right.
And I still know how to twirl a flag with one hand.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Look at you.
I said, if I get like a roll of wrapping paper, I'm sitting there with it and fucking, ooh, almost said it. And, like TJ Maxx or something, I'll be sitting there. And Danny's like, will you quit?
I think, because, so think about it. You've got someone that's in active addiction, and they've got, a whole family behind them that's trying to push them into going the other way with it.
Yeah.
Getting into recovery. I see that as a form of peer pressure.
Yeah.
You're peer pressuring this person to better themselves.
Yeah.
Or, all those years that all of us told you that you needed to get a big girl job, and you kept telling us no.
Yeah, I don't want to. Just
because we were telling you to do it, you weren't going to do it. That I feel like that was in turn somewhat
that was
positive,
passive aggression.
But on our end of it, it was a positive peer pressure.
Yeah, y'all were trying to get me to better myself, and I said, because y'all want me to? No. No. I won't be doing that. I still do that. I still do that kind of shit today. Because, like, he said something the other, was one day this week, it was early this week. I had to order hats, had all 3 of them done, okay? And he goes, oh, he wanted to see if you can put a flag on them, on the side of them. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. So then this man in turn is like, well, what do you think? And it's like, I don't know. He's being obnoxious about it. And then he's like, well, what machine do you want me to send it to? And I'm like, I said, I'm doing it right now. And he's like, well, he's coming to get them tomorrow. Okay, that's tomorrow. Did I do those 3 hats, like finish those little flags that day? No, I did them the next morning. And the guy didn't come until the next day. So
I feel like
he's all the time.
He knows that that's what you do, so he's going to.
Oh, and it pisses him off too. I can tell. Yeah, he'll get mad, sit over and not talk to me for the rest of the day, and I'm like, thank God.
When you had your nose pierced, did you ever feel like you had a booger in it?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time, constantly.
But
yeah, he'll be like, hey, do you think you can take care of this today? And I'll be like, sure can't.
Where I've had such a runny nose, my nose ring has crusted, will not turn.
That's disgusting.
Ow!
But
okay.
yeah, he'll be like, you think you can do this for me today? Sure can't.
Nope, sure can't.
Nope.
It's gonna wait till tomorrow.
Even though I've only got one machine running? Nope. Ain't got the time. I'm busy, fool.
See, I'm not gonna.
It's like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Let me do my job.
My other half, so I have to keep my thoughts and opinions on my job.
See, I can be mouthy.
Yeah, I can.
Like the day that he said something at the end of that. He's, well, baby, do you think we could get some work done tomorrow? And I literally looked at him, went, whatever, rolled my eyes, and left. If I had done that to anybody else, I'd have been fired. He needs me though. So he's not going to fire me. He might be secretly looking on Indeed, though, for somebody to replace me. She has gotten too mouthy. I can't take it.
I have to keep my comments and concerns to myself and anyone who is at my house at the time of the happenings to hear me. And if my boss happens to still listen, you heard I said what I said, but I still get my job done, and I do it well, I believe, based off of my most recent evaluations. You guys say I'm a superstar employee. I don't think y'all said those words exactly, but anyways,
what you do outside of work is none of anybody else's business.
Okay.
Ziggy,
so this question, I'm going to ask this question. No, I'm not, because I already know your answer to it. Should minimum wage be raised to a livable wage?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because it has not been raised since 2009. and it's like $7.25.
I'm here to let you know that I make well above minimum wage.
And that's not livable, is it?
And it's still not livable.
Yeah.
If something were to happen and I were to have to be a single mother, there is no way that I would be able to pay rent and all of my bills.
Yeah.
I had the thought, you ever have those, like, I know you do, where you like just randomly have these really insane thoughts that you're like, wow, this world is really messed up.
Yeah.
It is crazy to me that no one on this earth asked to be here.
Yeah.
But we have to pay to survive.
Yeah.
We have to pay for...
most of us are struggling.
We have to pay for water.
Yeah.
That the earth provides. Like, I don't...
Yeah. But
we have to pay for
the thing with
power.
that, though, I have changed my opinion of the water thing, about paying for water. Because, like, for instance, like, my parents are on well water. They don't pay for that. But they do pay for the electricity that runs the pumps. Or the pump. And, like, you know, all that. So, like, technically what we're paying for is not the water. We're paying for the treatment facilities and all that.
Oh, okay.
So, like, that technically that's what we're paying for.
But, like, I have to pay for...
But do I think that we should have a 50... Because you're on a different city water than I am.
Yeah.
But, like, ours over the next 2 years is going to go up 30% because they're building a new facility.
Oh, okay. So then...
For 2 people, my water bill is already $60 a month.
I should not have to pay so much money for things that are not convenience items. Like pads. Feminine hygiene products.
Free. Yeah.
Those should not be something that I have to pay out the ass for.
Right. And there
I
should
did not
be,
ask.
I want to say there should not be a luxury tax on them either. Because in some states there is a luxury tax, and one of ours, or it's not called a luxury tax, it's the pink tax or something. And that's on, luxury tax is like cigarettes, beer, which do
tax
that. I don't care.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's called like the pink tax or something on pads, tampons.
I did not ask to bleed for my vagina once a month.
Honestly, preferably, I wouldn't.
Exactly. When I had Easton, I told my doctor, take it all out. While we're at it, which, I mean, I gave natural birth. I didn't have a C-section.
Yeah.
But, like, I just reach up there and grab it. I don't just yank it out. I don't need the stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Let's schedule a hysterectomy. I don't need it. I understand that that's going to mess with my body's biology, whatever, my hormones and whatnot. That's fine. They have medicine for that. I can take that.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fine. I understand it's going to take some time getting used to it. It's fine. I don't need that stuff anymore. I don't want it. I don't want to go through this every month. It's honestly a nuisance.
I don't want any children. So go ahead and take it. I don't want it. I'm not doing anything with it. Like, can I donate it to somebody who doesn't work? Is that a thing?
I don't know. That's exactly what I was sitting here thinking about. I've never heard of somebody getting like
a uterus transplant, but
it hasn't popped up on Grey's Anatomy.
Can I give my eggs to somebody who wants them? They're probably dusty and crusty. But
did you see that Selena Spooky Boo is starting the surrogacy thing?
I did. I'm excited for them.
I'm excited.
Because they've wanted to be paid. She said she's always wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
And like, that's cool. And she's, I guess now, like, at a point in her life where like she can afford to raise a kid, which is amazing for her. But like, I have no interest. I mean, I'm not one of those people who, because I don't have kids, I think other people's kids are like a huge nuisance or anything. Like, I mean, kids are fine. Most of them. Some of them are irritating.
She loves my kids. They're irritating, but
like, I'm not going to sit here and say because...
She did not comment on that.
Because I don't have kids that I don't want to be around your kids.
Right.
Like, and there are people without kids that are like that, where they just do not like kids. They're mean to kids. And I just don't get that. I'm just like, you do you. If you want to have kids, please be my guest. But don't make me have kids. I don't need them. I don't want them. And like, while, yes, theoretically, I would probably be a really good mom. Do I think my mental health can handle that? No.
Bro, and that postpartum depression is a bitch.
And I'm not willing to put my own mental health at risk just to be a mother. Right. I'm not going to do that. because I don't think that's fair.
Can we talk about the fact that you did not comment on the fact of whether or not you love my children?
Oh, I do love your children.
I know that you do.
Otherwise,
you wouldn't put up with Easton
other
and
kids,
his Facebook nonsense.
There are other... Look at my pet. But there are kids that I love. Like, he's got a niece and nephew, and I love them to death. They're great. But,
you can send them home at the end of the day.
Exactly. I don't have to bring them home with me. And that's the perfect setup. I want to be the weird aunt that will, slip you $20 when your mom ain't looking and be like, here, don't spend it all in one place.
When you're 18, slipping you alcohol.
I probably wouldn't do that.
You don't think so?
No.
Would you hide it for them if they had it on their own? If they were like, hey, I bought this bottle.
No.
Can I hide it at your house?
I'd rat them out.
Would you?
I would.
I'm so excited.
Just because I think it would be funny.
I'm so excited to hear you say that.
Yeah. Just because I think it would be hilarious. They would think, oh, I can tell my Aunt Brittany. Hey, hide this bottle of liquor from me. Don't tell my mama. And I'd be like, sure, you got it, bud. Hey, your kid just brought liquor over here. Or, liquor hardly know her.
Hey, I had a bottle of rum fall into my lap, and I don't drink rum, so do you want to come get it? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, here I come. And then I get there, and I'd be like, where'd you get this? And be like, your child. Oh, okay.
And definitely, if you're coming at me, if you're under 18. For sure.
For sure. I mean, I understand the legal drinking age is 21, but I feel it. I was already drinking before the age of 21.
Yeah.
I was hiding a bottle of liquor at a family member's house by 17.
See?
17, 18. I feel at 18.
I would love for them to be, I want to be the person, if they want to come and tell me something, cool, that's fine. I'm not going to tell everybody. If you're 15 and you want to come over to my house and you want to cuss, I don't care. But if you're gonna bring drugs or alcohol to my house and be like, hey, I'm ready to hide this, no, I'm gonna you're damn lucky I'm not gonna call the police.
You're not gonna come over here smoking either.
No, you're not gonna come over here and get a cigarette because it stank. Get out of here.
Okay. Here's a one that I feel like I have strong feelings about. Should standardized testing be eliminated from education?
Yes, because education levels from student to student are not standardized.
I agree.
And
I see the reasoning behind it.
Yes, because I think a lot of it is for funding.
Yes. However, do I think that a child's grade level should depend on how well they do on state testing? No. I think that...
Because some kids just are not good test takers.
Bingo. And do I think that... And this is the big issue that I've had the past couple of years. Teachers will... Starting toward, second semester of school year, they start, okay, TCAP testing.
Yeah.
Now, don't stress out about it. Don't worry about it too much. But TCAP testing.
Right.
And they put way too
something
much.
They're stressed and worried about.
Yes. They put way too much stress on the students about it. When, in all honesty, all they're doing by stressing these kids out, when the time comes... they're going to be so upset and so stressed over it that they may not do well on it.
Yeah.
And that's going to, in turn, hurt your funding. That's going to reflect badly on your classroom. And it's a possibility that child could be held back in that grade.
Yeah.
Because you put so much stress on that child throughout the school year.
Right.
That, I remember as a kid, we heard about TCAP testing.
Yeah.
but it wasn't pushed. It wasn't shoved down our throats until the week of TCAP testing.
Yeah.
And then it was, okay, everybody make sure that you sleep well the night before, you eat a good breakfast. Even if you didn't eat a good breakfast, you got to class that morning, you were getting some honey buns before the testing started.
Or a banana.
And they handed you a handful of peppermints to eat during the testing.
Yeah.
And, okay, you got your number 2 pencil? Cool, we gonna do it. And we go on about it. Quit listening. The smart device over here started blinking at me because I said, okay. But they didn't, it wasn't heart. It wasn't pushed.
Yeah.
But it was still, the atmosphere was very tense during the testing.
Oh, for sure.
And so it did freak you out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it was ever a thing that if we failed that test, that we got held back in that grade the next year.
I don't think so. Like, I've got some of my TCAP testing, like, results that my mom kept. And, like, it would just show where you're lacking or where you excel.
So the teachers in the next year would know where to help you.
Yeah.
But, like, this year and I think last year, it was like 3rd grade took TCAP testing, and if they failed a certain part of it, they had to do a retake.
Yeah.
And then if they failed that, they either had to go to summer school or they had to stay in 3rd grade the next year. And it was a whole, like,
that seems so
it was a whole thing. So
that's too stressful for little kids.
So I don't think that standardized. Now, to prepare you for adulthood,
do they still do that in middle and high school? Because I don't remember doing, like, TCAP testing in high school.
I don't think it's
we did it in
TCAP.
middle
I think
school.
that I know that we did it in middle school. I don't remember if Maddie did it in middle school or not.
And I know, like, at the end of 8th grade, there's, like, that test that before you go into high school to figure out, like, what classes you need to be taking.
High school just does EOCs, which is like a state run end of course kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
But that's not synonymous with their
final.
So that was kind of confusing for me this year with Maddie, but okay, so then hold on. Should high schools implement mandatory financial literacy courses?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Did high school prepare me for adulthood?
No.
Not in the slightest.
No.
High school prepared me for college.
For the most part, yeah. Because, like,
certain classes prepared me for college.
Because, like, they were like, well, I mean, for instance, like, in our senior English class, it's like, well, you better write this paper in cursive and handwrite it, because in college you're going to have to handwrite all of your essays in cursive, and we never did that.
No, I did not.
We never did that.
Everything was on a computer.
Exactly.
Now,
it's like, I saw a TikTok the other day. This teacher, she was like, things we did when I was in high school that would put my current high school students into a coma, and it was like handwriting papers.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, note-taking techniques that I learned from Mr. Lavery.
Never had that class. He scared me. He yelled at me one time.
I was so fully prepared for note-taking in college, which I only had 1 or 2 courses that I really, really had to follow along with notes.
His hands are really small.
But if that class really prepared me for that,
yeah.
I will give it that. And I'm pretty sure that I still have that binder somewhere at my mother's.
Yeah.
I was so proud of it.
One of our former classmates posted that she still had hers.
JJ?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that too. But as far as preparing you for adulthood with, like, financial literacy, now we had, like, home ec classes that would teach you how to cook, how to sew, things like that, but they were elective. They weren't something that was mandatory.
I don't think they have that anymore.
They do. Kinda.
Yeah.
But at high schools now, though, they have, I don't know that they have a financial literacy thing, but high schools have gotten kind of here anyway, they've gotten ahead of the game to where you now, if you're going to pursue like something in the medical field, you can have your certification and go straight out of high school into college with an RN. Like, well, maybe not RN, but like, you know,
like,
you're already certified.
What is it? Like a CNA?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're already certified. You're already there. You get straight out of high school, start working. Like, and like you can get out of class to go work. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And
See,
it's
something like that. Like whenever what did they call that? It had a name. Anyway, where you could go and work and you would get credit, you know, in your class.
They have that for other areas then, because like my nephew only had like, he got out of school like 12:30 every day.
Yeah.
So that he could, because he had a job.
Yeah.
And also that kid's a freaking genius, and like he had like college credits before his senior year.
Yeah.
Like he was good to go. But they're ahead of the game with stuff like that. Like I will say, and I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly, the teacher for those nursing classes is an actual nurse.
Yeah.
At a hospital. And she also teaches.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty cool deal there. But as far as like, did it help me know how to write and balance a checkbook? No. Did I learn how to do taxes? No. Which to me, I think too much stress is put on filing taxes because, and it might be different for everybody, but filing taxes for me is really easy. It's never been an issue. I've never been stressed about it.
I'm sure that like one day when we turn this podcast into a business, our taxes will become a little bit more of a headache. But as long as we keep everything simple, I think we'll be fine.
Right.
But
we're not writing everything off as a business expense.
Right. But
would our mid-record session dinners be a business expense?
Percentages of them are. Only percentages of business dinners are write-offs.
We'd have to have like a separate credit card
like
just for
15% or something. It's not enough to like.
Well, still, I got the parts.
I know. I've been seeing you leaning an awful lot.
Anyway, we'd have to get like a designated credit card.
Oh yeah, we'd have like a whole separate business account and stuff.
All right, so the next one is, hold on. Okay. Is the grading system, which I know that you don't know a whole lot about it currently, but do you think, like, even with the grading system that we had back in the day,
is it in here?
Does it? My bad. Is the grading system an effective way to assess a student's abilities?
I mean, ask somebody who spent a lot of time getting C's and D's and some
credit
F's,
recoveries.
And I had to, well, we had to do credit recovery once. But I would say yes and no. Like, I can see why it's helpful because you can see where you're at and where you need to improve. But I think that the sheer weight of those numbers, I don't know, it can be damaging to somebody's self-esteem if they're not.
Absolutely. If they're truly trying.
Yeah.
And they're still not getting the desired result.
Yeah.
As a mom, okay, so as a person that I struggled in some classes, and I'm not saying this to make it sound any negative way, but as a person who didn't have to try super hard for much of anything for grades in high school, in any grade at that point. But now as a mom who has a child that we have to stay on top of to get grades.
Yeah.
The grading scale, the way that they use now, I think it bothers me.
Yeah.
Not so much the grading scale in and of itself, but the fact that like my child comes home and tells me that she's truly trying.
Yeah.
When I don't see effort reflected at home.
Yeah.
When I say to you, do you have homework or missing assignments that need to be done? No, I sure don't. But then I look on her portal and I see that there's like 15 missing assignments.
Yeah.
Explain. Well, I can't do this because, and I can't do this because, and I can't do this because. And I'm not doing this one because I don't understand it. Okay, so ask your teacher for help.
Right. That's
Find someone to help you that's not another student.
Yeah. Or even if there is a student, even if you're not friends with them, don't be afraid to ask them for help.
Well, yes.
It's somebody that you know understands it.
Right. But like this is going to make me sound like a terrible person. She had an awful grade in one class all year long with a teacher that I know full good and well will go above and beyond to help her on a one-on-one level because that is what he lives for. And I know this to be fact because I myself had him.
Yeah.
My husband had him. And if I'm not mistaken, her dad also had him. Just about everyone I know has had this person as a teacher.
This man must be old.
He doesn't look it.
I'm trying to think who you're talking about.
The one that just retired.
Oh, yeah.
This man is an amazing teacher. And he will do one-on-one. That's what he lives for.
Yeah.
He's there to help students. However, she struggled with that class.
Yeah.
But she ended this semester. She failed her final. But because her grade, it was so like hold on, 90, 80, 70's a C, 60's a D, 50. So her grade was a 59 or a 58 point something.
Yeah.
He rounded it up to a passing grade.
Yeah.
And while I'm glad that she quote unquote passed the class so that she doesn't have to retake it.
Yeah. It would have been
I am still livid that it was rounded up to give her that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like her retaking the class might have been better for her. Because at least
she didn't give it the attention that it deserved. And that was the issue.
Because, like, I know, like, for me, when I had to retake Algebra 1, so for us, I don't know if it's still this way, but Algebra 1 was broken up and you took it the whole year. And so I passed first semester, second semester.
Every class is like that now.
Oh, okay. So second semester, when we took it, that was how we met, was that class. Halfway through the semester, we, like, ended up with this new teacher.
I struggled in that class.
I struggled. But then, like, because our teacher wasn't that great, I kind of just lost interest in it. I still don't know how that man was able to teach that class. But anyway, there was a book series I fell in love with. I've probably talked about it before, but I fell in love with this book series, read that instead. So I failed the class, of course. Had to retake it. But when I took it the second time, I understood the material better because A, I had a different teacher, but B, because I had already seen it.
Right.
So it helped me to get, and I don't know what I ended up passing it with the second time I took it, and I only had to take that second semester again. But yeah, like, I know I had a better grade than what I had before.
What I find hard now, and I think is a disservice to the kids, is that in this particular class that she struggled with, there is not a textbook. She did not have one single solitary textbook this year for any class.
Oh.
There are no textbooks. Everything is online.
Yeah.
And she could not point me to an online textbook. How am I supposed to help her at home?
Yeah.
When this is stuff that I haven't seen in nearly 20 years.
Right.
And it's not something that I use in an everyday thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember. This was like, it was a science class. It was like chemical compounds and like,
yeah.
I don't remember. I remember learning it, but I don't remember what it was. And I can't help her if I don't have some kind of reference material. And when you Google these things, there's no one clear cut.
I was going to say, there's like 1,000 different answers for the same question. Yeah.
And it's infuriating. I keep trying to scoot my chair and forgetting that I can scoot my table closer to me now.
But yeah. And I know personally for me, like, I love researching this podcast, but I think part of my struggle is because it's online based.
Yes.
For the bad luck episode, I used a book and that was it. And I feel like I knocked that episode out real fast.
Right.
Using a book versus online. And usually what I do is I'll find a source and I'll do the split screen and I'll have my Word document on one side, my source on the other. And I'm rewording and I'm, and I'll have 2 or 3 different, you should see my tabs on my browser when I'm writing an episode, because it'll have my standard, my emails that I've got open. And then I'll have 15 articles for the same topic. And I'm picking from each source and rewording and, just doing all of that. So and I find that difficult to settle into when I would rather print those articles off, highlight the parts that I want, and then type those into a document. But that's a lot of paper waste.
Yeah.
So I don't do that. I try not to do that too much. But I feel like I focus better that way.
Right. Should schools teach comprehensive sex education?
Yes.
I agree.
100%.
So it's a double-sided coin, because
I feel like kids should know scientific names for things and all of this, because it's for instance, there was a story of a little girl who her mom taught her that her vagina was called a cookie. So she kept telling her mom, so-and-so was touching my cookie. And she's like, well, it's not a big deal. It's just a cookie.
Right.
Da-da-da. Well, it turns out somebody was sexually assaulting her daughter. And she was trying to tell her, and she didn't know because she didn't know the term.
Yes.
But and I think stuff like that is important. And I think because I think it is here in the South, particularly our sex education is non-existent. I think I remember us taking one.
Yes. In middle school.
Yes. And
even then it was, Well,
I remember that lady showed us definitely pictures of gonorrhea, and I was traumatized. But I
don't remember. I had Coach B. I didn't have a lady.
So she came in and did it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
But I don't feel like they should be handing out contraceptives to kids.
No.
But they should, especially teenagers, should be aware that these are available and that they're important. And it's not just condoms are not just to attempt to prevent pregnancy. It's so you don't get anything.
Right.
You don't want to get chlamydia from your first high school boyfriend because he's been sticking it in every other girl in the high school. So, I think they should be aware of things like that.
I agree.
I don't think they need I'm not saying show them a porno and be like, this is how it's done, kids.
Right.
But I
keep it textbook,
exactly. And because
there should not be a 20-something-year-old woman who already has at least one child that doesn't know the anatomy of her own body that goes to a bachelorette party where there is a adult toy party and is learning everything that she never knew at this party.
And and I know especially for...
Do they necessarily need to know what a G-spot is in middle school, high school? No.
But they do need to, be aware of their anatomy, and I feel teen pregnancies probably weren't as prevalent whenever they were sending them screaming baby dolls home. But
I never had to do that.
I never had to do that either, but I did have a friend. We did have a friend that did that.
Yeah, and she still got pregnant. Did she not have to carry one home? Who are you talking about?
I'm thinking about, I'll put her name in teams. Because she still doesn't have kids, I don't think.
That's not who I thought you were talking about.
Oh, no, I don't know if she did or not. But, I mean, like, and I think TV shows like 16 and Pregnant kind of like glorified teen pregnancy to a certain extent, especially like the Teen Mom show.
Yeah.
At least for some of them.
It shows the trials and tribulations to it as well, and shows that it can, in fact, be hard. And it shows, it shows every angle of it. Because, I mean, you've got, like, Caitlin and Tyler, who gave their baby up for adoption because that was the best option for them. Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad for them. Because at their age, their family that they had was not a good environment for any child.
Yeah.
And it shows still, because she's still on Teen Mom, it shows the mental issues that it brings on, the fact that you just grew and gave birth to a whole human that you don't get to see and talk to. And it shows how hard it can be and how taxing it can be. But then you've got people like, I don't know, Farrah, who just brings all the issues she had on herself. Now, she had a sad story because baby daddy passed away before she had the baby.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the issues that she had on the show were brought on herself because she's a spoiled, rotten brat.
Yeah.
But you've also got, like, Macy, who kept it real.
Yeah.
Macy, and still to this day, keeps it real. And now, I don't watch it like I used to.
Yeah. But then you've got, like, Janelle.
Oh, my God. Ha! Ha! You both ha! Kiefer!
I never even watched that show, but I know exactly. But like, and then who's another one?
Amber Portwood. She's
always in something.
I will give you. I like who she's for a little bit. I don't know now. I think I saw something recently that her like most current boyfriend was missing for a little bit.
Her
but
fiance.
I think she got her life together for a minute.
Yeah.
And I liked who she was at that point when she did get her life together.
Yeah.
But it's always been an issue.
Yeah. She seems like she's always got something going on. Janelle's always got something going on.
Oh, for sure. Leah, I liked her. She had her head on straight for the most part. She was just real young and immature.
Yeah. What's that? What is it? Is it Kaylin? The one that's now got like 7 children? What is her name? She's got a podcast.
Oh,
Kale, yeah. She seems all right. I mean, now anyway, like she seems.
I didn't hate her then. I didn't see a huge issue with her then.
I saw the other day.
She was on Bunny's podcast.
Yeah, but like I saw the other day a clip of her first baby daddy like walking up to her in a parking lot and like saying something like, it was real shady.
They were real.
He hated her.
They were real. They were Joe. They were a real issue for each other. But she's been all right.
Because it was so funny.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Like he walked up to her and said something so shysty, and she's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are we here?
Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
It's DeBoer now. Oh, my gosh.
I always thought she was so pretty.
Me too. And I loved her story. Like, I loved her as a person. And her baby daddy has always been kind of... I find it funny. What is his name? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say it and be wrong.
I don't know.
Is it not the same?
I think so.
I don't want to say it on this podcast. Anyway, we're moving on. But I really liked her. Huska is her last name.
But
yes.
Okay. But
I really liked her, and I thought that like it showed how because she did. I think that her story was very real.
Yeah.
Because it showed the issues that she had, that she wanted to keep Aubrey's family together, and she fought so hard to keep baby daddy in the picture.
Yeah.
But he kind of pushed it away himself, and then she did what she had to do.
Right.
And now she's with Cole, and I think that they are just the cutest things ever.
Yeah. But, I mean, all of that to say, all that Teen Mom recap, to say that, yes, I do think some sex education is important.
I do too, but also...
But I don't think it needs to be too graphic, anything like that. I think that it needs to be I think that it needs to be discussed, and the parents need to be given a heads up before that it's... Oh, for sure. And they should have an option to opt out of it if they don't want their kid to be involved.
I found out with Maddie, I thought I had heard somewhere in the rumor mill, and apparently it wasn't true, that she was going to get a baseline sex education somewhere in middle school.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me talk to her first.
Right.
And so we had the whole discussion. As somebody, and it was a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
And like there are some parents out there that will not have that conversation with their children.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I ever had the talk with my parents ever.
Way too much.
I had the talk with your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom gave me the talk.
But like
way too much of the talk. But my mom never gave me that conversation.
Yeah.
Now, it's a very uncomfortable situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a conversation that I look forward to really having to delve into. I refuse to give it to the boy child.
Yeah.
That's dad's situation.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with boy stuff, that's dad's deal.
Yeah.
We did have a scare not too long ago that I thought the middle child had started.
Oh, no.
And so I had to have that conversation with her.
Yeah.
I didn't go into detail.
Yeah.
Because she's 9.
Yeah, age appropriate talks are totally fine.
We just had the conversation of your body's going to do this. Yeah. I didn't go into the information of why. I just said your body's going to do this often. Here's what we need to expect. Here's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And she kind of already had an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that my oldest has already had that conversation somewhat with her because we talk about it.
That is the good thing about older siblings is like, especially
it can be a curse and a blessing, though.
Right? Because
there is no telling what my middle child knows,
right?
That I don't know she knows.
I'm sure that like stuff like that wasn't as scary for my sister because I'd already gone through it. So
I don't know,
but like for me getting my period for the first time, but I mean, if I was younger, it probably I would have been terrified. But like, I was terrified to shave my legs for the first time. I thought I was going to cut my legs off. Like, I cried shaving my legs the first time. It was traumatizing. But like,
I begged my mom to do it.
I asked my mom if she would do it. She said, no, you got to
No,
learn
I'm
how
saying
to do it.
I begged my mom for me to do it.
No, I wanted to do it so bad. And then when it actually came time to do it, I was convinced I was going to cut myself and bleed. And I just could not have that.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, like, but then for my sister, I don't know what her experience was like, but I'm sure that because I'd been doing it, she was like, that's not a big deal. But yeah, like, I mean, I didn't get my first period till I was like 16. I was very, very late. So, so it wasn't, I was well into my teenage years and knew what to expect. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. it was like waiting for the other shoe to drop. I wish it had never come.
Right.
But,
how long have we been going?
An hour.
Okay. So we want to be done there, or we want to keep going?
We can go a little longer.
All right.
Maybe do one or two more, depending on.
Let me go over to this other one just so that we can say that we actually use.
Look at how comfy he is.
Man, he is out.
I will say this cat do be letting stinkies. He is gassy, and he will.
Oh, so it might not be me that you be smelling.
No. It was definitely you because he didn't make any movements. He moves, and I can hear his stomach go.
Okay, so let's do. That was not the list that I hoped it was. Does our technology connect us more or isolate us more?
I would say a little both.
It does give me the opportunity to keep up with family members and friends that I would not otherwise be able to see.
Exactly.
However, back in the day when we didn't have social media and stuff like that, we just picked up the phone and called.
Yeah.
But also,
or just go over to their house.
Right. Also, I'm just not the type of person that's going to pick up my phone and call said friend that moved to another state.
Yeah.
Just out of the clear blue, because life.
Yeah.
They're at work when I'm at work, and when I'm off work, I'm not calling anybody because I've got shit to do.
Right. But I mean, it's like when I was in middle school, I had my best friend in middle school, 6th grade. Her family moved.
Bring back writing letters. Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah. So we wrote letters back and forth for a couple of years, and then one day we just stopped. We got MySpace, and we kind of would talk on there, and we're friends on Facebook now. And I think she seems like she's got just a wonderful little life, and it's not like nothing happened. We just don't talk. And like she's been to Nashville a few times, and we haven't connected.
Did you see her?
No. And I almost feel like it might be weird.
Right.
Because we haven't talked in so long. But I wish her the best. I mean,
right. But I also feel like now technology has made it to a point to where we are too comfortable in our own homes to where we don't have to come face to face with people.
Yeah, and I like it that way.
But you see where that's an isolation situation.
Yeah, isolate me. I want to be alone.
Well, yes, because you are that type of person. And I've become that type of person.
I can see how somebody who is social, though, would not thrive in like being home all the time and only having virtual contact.
It turns you into an awkward person. Because I've always been a social butterfly.
Yeah.
I could talk to anyone in a room with anybody. I'd have a good time wherever I was at.
Yeah.
And now that I have been working from home for as long as I have, also with like COVID, where we were like forced to stay home.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say forced. It was advised, and I did.
Yeah.
I think that it has made me not know how to people anymore.
Yeah.
And going into a social setting kind of stresses me out. And like even family get together, like I can remember like my family used to have get togethers quite often. But like in the past several years it's kind of tapered off. Now TJ's family on the other hand, they used to have more family get-togethers than they do now.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're always getting together.
Yes, but, like, I've almost always felt comfortable at his family get-togethers. Now, I'm not going to say I don't feel comfortable now, but, like, back in the day, I'm socializing, talking to everybody. I'm included in conversation. I'm, having a good time. But now that I'm like working from home, and I am at home, I'm not so much anymore, but like I'm used to being by myself and only having my family around me.
Yeah.
I'm like, even at family gatherings, I just kind of sit off to myself. And just, if somebody includes me in the conversation, then I'll put in, my position.
See, that's why you need me there with a garden gummy.
Right? Like, even...
Because I'll talk to everybody.
There was, like, one Christmas or Thanksgiving or something that, for my family, that after we left, my aunt called or something, like, the next day and was like, was everything okay? Like, you were just really quiet and kind of weird. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't know how to interact with people anymore. I don't... It just doesn't work for me anymore. But it's I think that technology these days has made it easier.
Yeah, it's easier to stay connected with people, but it's also easy to not get out of the house and do anything.
Right.
But
okay, so then we'll end on a funnier note.
That man's cooking something. I can smell it. Maybe I'm smelling things. I don't know.
Let's say... I just saw it. Where'd it go? Which words or phrases do we overuse, and what are some that would be better? Go there.
I don't know if I should, though. Because it would be getting into like a political realm, but I do feel like the term woke is used way too much to the point where I don't think we really understand what that means. I'll also say the term snowflake confuses me, and I'll leave it at that.
I've used the term snowflake. I'm not gonna lie.
It depends on the context, because I think that when it's used in the context that it is primarily used, and by the demographic that it is primarily used, it is used very incorrectly. Because, like, I understand that a snowflake is fragile. It is sensitive. I understand that concept. I'm just not going to get into it. I'm going to leave it at that. What's something else? Just like any word or phrase. Literally.
Widowy. I'm Whittowing right now. My kids say that all the time. Or like now, if I heard it once today, I heard it a million times. Easton in his room. What the Sigma?
What the hell does that mean?
I don't even know. But like my kids say stuff like that all the time. Or yacht.
What?
That's your ass. Your yacht. Yeah, I do know that.
So old.
Easton will walk by and smack you on the butt and be like, I smacked your yacht. Yeah.
Weird. Kids are weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really can't think of anything else. I can't. I mean, yeah.
Literally anything that the kids are coming up with slang wise.
Yeah, but I'm sure our parents said the same thing. They were like,
I'm so sure.
They're like, what the hell is this?
I'm so sure. But like, I feel, and honestly, it was probably the same for our parents, but I feel that every year the slang gets dumber.
Yeah, it
and
gets strange
dumber
and stranger
and dumber.
But there's things that I do like Riz. I love Riz.
I think it's the dumbest thing.
Love Riz. Oh, he's got Riz. Ooh, I like that. I like that one. Bussin'.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Bussin' was kind of weird, but I get the sentiment behind it. Let's see, what's some other ones? I don't know. For me personally, show me to me, please.
It's overused. You keep saying that, but my thing has been, and we haven't dropped the F-bomb on this one yet, but that's Sabrina Carpenter.
I was about to say it. I'll just say it the way Daniel's been saying it. Mother trucker. Like that Vine. Oh, mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
The way that kid said, "Oh, mother trucker, dude."
And then there's like the one, like the at the end of it, the guy goes, "Watch your profanity."
Whoever threw that, your mom is a hoe. I'm a strong believer in let's bring back Vine.
Well, see, that's what TikTok started out as, and now we've got 10-minute long videos.
Right.
And
I'm not gonna lie to tell you, and Josh, this goes for you as well. If you send me a TikTok that goes longer than 30 seconds, I'm just gonna react it based off of the first 30 seconds, and I'm scrolling on through.
2 times speed is your best friend.
I do that to some degree, because if it's a story that I feel like maybe might interest me.
Daniel will come in the bedroom. See, when it's a long one, I try to only send you like the spooky ones,
right?
Or,
and I still 2 times through that. Like,
oh yeah, half the time I 2 times through that. But like, he'll come in the bedroom and I'll have the TV playing, and I'll be sitting there listening to TikToks on 2 times speed, and it's just, and he's like, "How do you know what anybody's saying?"
ADHD, my friend.
Exactly.
ADHD, my friend.
Oh my God. He sent me, that reminds me, speaking of my garden gummy earlier, he sent me a picture last night of the inside of his BMW and the garden gummy. I looked at it and I said, "Is that my baby?" And then I like zoomed in on it because I was like, I don't think that's right. And then I zoomed in on it and I saw the BMW logo from the steering wheel, and then he's like typing and I was like, oh, that's definitely not. And he said, "Did you take a gummy?" And I said, "Let me show you the GIF I sent him." But yeah, so there's that. I got 50 TikTok notifications.
You just cleared them.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
I can't comment on nothing.
Jeez.
I'm going viral.
All right. Well, you ready to get into the nonprofit?
Oh yeah. Is that mine?
That one? Yeah.
Let me get to the email because I know Pride Month is over now, but I still wanted to choose an LGBTQ plus nonprofit to highlight for an upcoming episode. So I have chosen the Trevor Project. And on their website, it says, "Now we're building a safer, more inclusive world. LGBTQ young people are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide, and suicide remains the second leading cause of death among all young people in the U.S., which is it's gone up significantly since COVID started. Is suicide attempts, gestures, all of that since the beginning of COVID for every young person, but particularly for young people of the LGBTQ community. So should you feel so inclined to donate, I will leave a link in the episode notes for you to do that.
Can I just say, and this might be controversial, and then after we finish recording this and you feel the need to cut this, that's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. In this day and age, there is no excuse for anyone to not be who they're going to be and not be accepted for it.
I think you're right.
Um,
And I think if you don't believe that that's what somebody should be doing, that's fine, but shut up.
so if you're of the Christian faith, your Bible literally teaches you to hate the sin and not the sinner.
Yeah.
So keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
Bye, Ziggy. Very slowly.
But yeah, so if
I think at this point, people who listen to this podcast know our stance on things like that and know that for us, we're very accepting.
I'm going to
and
tell you,
we're going to love you no matter, as long as you're a good person. I don't care what your sexual orientation is, what your gender identity is. I don't care. Just tell me what you want to be called. I'll call you that. I don't care. It doesn't affect me.
if you need a family that's going to support you, I can be your family now.
Yeah.
Support you in that way. I can't support you financially.
I'll be your weird Aunt Brittany.
Yes. But I'm the one, and I see it every year for Pride Month, but the one comment that I got so sick of hearing or seeing on social medias for Pride Month this year was, why do they have a flag? We as straight people don't get our own flag. Why is there a different flag for them?
Tell me why
Why do we not get a Pride Month for this? Oh,
tell me why my brain literally went, you have the American flag.
I kind of did the same thing at first, but like, here's my stance on that. Straight people are celebrated 365 days a year.
Yeah.
You guys have every day, and you have since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
It has only been a short period of time that people of the LGBTQ community
that we know of
are accepted.
Yeah, in our recent history, because like I feel like there was probably some wiener touching back in like
I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Ancient times. No, and I'm sure like in some cultures it was probably totally fine,
Right?
And nobody ever questioned it. It wasn't a thing. Nobody was like off with his head because he likes wee wee.
Right.
I'm sure that there were cultures, like ancient cultures, where they were like, we don't give a shit. Yeah.
But you guys have always been allowed to be you.
Yeah.
But for people of the LGBTQ community to be who they wanted to be had to be hush hush and behind closed doors. And God forbid it was ever found out.
Yeah.
And so now that we're allowed to be out and about with that, don't take that away. Don't do that to us because it's not fair. Why can't we be who we want to be?
Right.
So there's my 2 cents. Also, I just wanted to say Nashville was going to paint like a portion of like a crosswalk or something, a rainbow.
A shit fit about it.
Oh, like the whole everyone. I would say the vast majority of the comments on this post that I personally saw were just bitching about a rainbow part of a road. However, top comment that I thought was the best response that could have ever been given, and I'm so proud to say that this person who made the comment is someone that I personally know and love and is in our circle of friends, our being mine and TJ's circle of friends.
Yeah.
The comment was, the only reason that you should be mad about a rainbow road is if you suck at Mario Kart.
Yeah. Point made.
So
yeah, because who cares?
Right.
Who cares? It doesn't mean the road is gay. You're not going to turn gay walking across it.
Oh, the issue is why are we spending money on that and not filling in potholes? Listen,
I mean, now fair point.
Fair point.
But
I assure you that little bit of money that it took to paint this crosswalk did not take very much of your allotment for these. It might have covered the cost for like 4 potholes,
if that.
So,
yeah. I don't know. People are dumb.
Find alternate routes. Don't take 440. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I don't know. 440 was recently repaved, so it's not bad. But 40 is awful.
Yes.
Going towards like Bellevue. Briley, terrible.
Yes.
Where were we? I don't know. Recently, I went to Rivergate today, and you scared me. Well, I went to Rivergate today, and like Old Hickory Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
Please fix that.
Yeah.
Please fix it. Anyway.
All right.
We got bigger, basically, we got bigger problems. Don't be worrying what other people are doing.
Right. Social medias. Follow us on Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok,
the Bird app.
Email us at wandersofweird
@gmail.com. Oh, yeah. Okay,
bye.
bye.
Do you want